Hi, this is Kathy from Craft with Kathy. Thanks for joining me this evening. I realize it's a little late on a Saturday of all things, but I wanted to show you a complimentary piece to the reindeer parking that I did yesterday, and it's just been that kind of a day that I haven't gotten around to it until actually now, just because I needed some of the things. I was missing some pieces, I needed the glue, da-da-da-da-da. All different craziness. But anyway, I've got it together now, for better or for worse. And here goes the live. This piece was created with November's Club Couture Reindeer Parking Transfer on a pallet board. Sorry, I just scraped into my little globe here. That was actually inserted into the pillar from Board and Pillar. And normally, let me take this apart really quick. Normally, the board and pillar, this is the board. And the board and the pillar come whitewashed, and I've colored them with some, I've made them gold with some rub and buff. And instead of putting these two together, I wanted the larger reindeer parking sign. I really think the stand goes well with it, in that it's a pretty dramatic piece in itself, and actually with this pillar, it actually looks more like a sign, like a parking sign, if you will. So I thought that was kind of cool, and so that's for that part of it. And then I wanted to make something to coordinate with the gold, and the same with the wording and everything. So that is what I'm going to do next. And this is going to be a simple, quick. I've already obviously colored the frame in the gold. And then I'm going to use our Christmas time collection, December 25th from it. And I know there's some hollies and berries that go with this. I am not going to use that. I am just going to, I was actually toying with the idea of doing it horizontally. I don't know if I want to do it horizontally or not. Maybe horizontally would go well. I don't know. Gotta think of a second. It might look a little off kilter. I think I'll just do it vertically. Okay. And I'm going to put this little globe or half ornament on it and make it kind of like a snow globe. So let me get started and just put this transfer down on the board. I'm using, this is a chalkboard underneath, and I need to fuzz this. I've previously used it, but I still need to fuzz it a bit. I'm coming at you from the suburbs west of Chicago. Drop me a line. Let me know where you're watching from. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday weekend. Mine has been a little subdued and kind of relaxing, which actually suits me just fine. Kind of well-deserved, a little bit of slow down on the pace, and it's all good. Move this over just to here. I'm using our transfers. Our transfers are kind of like stencils, but they are not. They're made out of vinyl and silkscreen, and they are reusable with an adhesive back, which is why I fuzzed it to diminish the adhesion somewhat. I think this is fine. Okay, so I'm smoothing it down gently, making sure there's no air bubbles underneath the silk screen. You can see through the silk screen to the back. And I'm going to use two colors to coordinate with the other paste. I'm going to use white and gold. And I'm going to do the 25 in the white and December in the gold. So I'm just applying the paste, squeezing it over the silk screen with a little squeegee, pressing it through the silk screen to the surface below it, making sure I have everything covered. Then I'm going to make sure I remove any lines. Drip and paste a little bit there. And take the excess paste off. And put it back in the jar. Easy, easy. Then I'm going to grab my gold, and pretty much the same process. The gold is a shimmer paste, and the shimmer takes a little bit more work getting through the silk screen just because of the nature of the paste, but it's really worth it. It's a beautiful shimmery kind of a look to it. Putting the excess back in the jar. And then I'm going to lift up this transfer. You always lift from the top, the bottom, the left or the right. You never pull or tug at the corners, because our transfers are kind of like fabric, in that you could distort or tug, or basically distort by pulling on the bias. So I'm going to set this aside to dry for a minute or two and clean my transfer really quickly. Let me cover up my paste. And then we'll get on to the next portion of it, where we make a little snow globe. So ideally I would run this over to the sink and rinse it under water. Our chalk paste is water soluble, but being that I can't do that, I'm going to clean it right here on my surface with a disinfecting wipe. Our transfers are reusable 8 to 12 times or more with proper care. And proper care is just making sure that you remove the chalk paste from the silk screen. Clean the transfer up so that that silk screen is nice and clean for subsequent uses. Much easier at a sink or in a water bath, honestly. But I didn't want to wait until I was done, because you want to remove the paste as soon as you can so that it doesn't dry in the silk screen. And now I'm going to do the back of it. Oops. Sometimes I'm in too much of a hurry for my own good. Get all the paste off the back, and then I want to remove the fuzz from my fuzzing cloth. And generally I just go in one direction, and that'll take off any of the little teal pieces of lint from my fuzzing cloth. If you don't have a fuzzing cloth, you could use a towel, a sweater, a pair of jeans, basically anything that'll give off a little bit of lint. And I'm going to lay this aside next to its carrier sheet and let it dry, and then reassemble it when I'm done. Okay, on to the fun stuff. So this isn't quite dry, but what I'm going to do with it is, oh look, I look like I have a little piece here that's not straight. I'm going to use my little detail tool and just scrape off that little bleed right there. That makes it too look a little bit nicer. And the same with up here with the 5. Just straighten it out a little bit. I love this little tool. It's great for fixing anything that's gone amiss. Okay. So I've got these little sprigs and berries, and I was thinking I would hot glue one, or not hot glue, I'll use a glue dot to glue it to the top. I'm going to take off, I did hot glue these together. I need to take off all my little hot glue spider webs here, get them out of the way. But I'm basically going to make this into a snow globe, if you will, using half of one of the ornaments. I clipped off the little edge and then filed it down. And I'm going to put a little snow on there as soon as that is dried. Get my little bag of snow out here. And then I'm going to glue the whole thing together with a little Gorilla Glue. And let me see what else I need. I think that's pretty much it. Okay. Like I said, the shimmer takes a little bit longer to dry. You can see that it's a little bit darker in some areas, so it's still in the process of drying. It'll take another minute or so. But see how you get that little bit of shimmer with it? Of course, I'm not getting the light to fall on it just right, but it does sparkle. It's pretty and it's sparkly. Okay. So I'm just going to put this little twig at the bottom. I just want it kind of loose in there. float around. I'm gonna put my Gorilla Glue along the rim here and then press it down. I think I will do that before I actually put the snow in place. And I've never used this before, so this will be interesting to see if I can make a nice little thin line with it. Punched a little hole in it. Then I know it needs to be held in place for at least 2 hours, preferably 24 to fully seal it. So after I assemble this, I will put a weight on it. And I did notice that the Gorilla Glue says that it needs to be kept in a lighted area so that it doesn't darken, which I thought that was interesting. I haven't used this before, so I don't really know what to expect, but I've heard people have gotten good results with it, so I'm hoping I do too. Just looking for where I actually started here. Oops. Not the steadiest of hands, what could I say? Okay, I think I've got that all the way around. Clean that up and put the cap back on it. And let me grab some of my snow. I just want a little pile of snow at the bottom. I don't want a whole lot. Careful, I don't get on my transfer. Excuse me, tickle. Oh, that's a piece of snow that I'm trying to remove. I didn't know what it was. Okay. So I'm going to create a little puddle of snow. Oops, not what I was intending. What could I say? Oh, I really need to put this in a different kind of a container. I don't want it too much. I don't want December to be hidden. Okay, just a little bit for a little bit of the look of it. And I want a clear surface where it's going to bond. So let me kind of scoot all this out of the way. Okay. Oops. And I've got some drips. I know this is supposed to dry clear, so let's hope it does. Okay, I think that's centered. And I am going to put my roll of tape on top of it for weight. Oops. Get back where it was supposed to be. And then I'll probably put a book on top of that. And then I'm going to grab a little glue dot. Oh, I forgot. I didn't put my little sprig back in here. Oops. And you know what? I don't see that that's sticking really well. Wow. I don't know. Not quite sure what to do with that. Maybe I'll throw a little bit more glue around it and hurry up and flip it over. Okay. Then I'm just going to add a little glue dot to the back of one of my little sprigs here. And place it right there up in the corner. obviously when it's dry, I'll get the glue to the bottom, the snow to the bottom. And I think it'll be a nice complementary piece to my reindeer parking. Simple, quick, and easy. Once this dries, I will stage it and post a photo. If you have any questions, just drop me a line, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. Thank you so much for watching. Whoops. Have a great weekend.